Greetings, Wake Forest community. I'm Dean Jonathan Lee Walton, co-chair of the Advisory Committee on Naming. Thank you for joining us for a call to conversation, expanding the narrative of Wake Forest University. On behalf of my co-chair, Trustee Donna Boswell, and the other members of the Advisory Committee, I would like to thank you for participating in this important discussion related to our university's past, our present, and our future. The goal of this conversation is to help inform the Advisory Committee on Naming about the thoughts and perspectives of the Wake Forest community. It is the charge of this committee to affirm a set of principles and decision rubrics for contextualizing sites and elements of honor at Wake Forest. We have divided this work into several areas of focus. Guiding principles to inform how the university designates names on campus, historical research on existing names, and consideration of new names worthy of recognition on campus. Ultimately, the committee will make advisory recommendations to President Hatch and to the trustees as to the best ways the university should contextualize, remember, and honor significant figures in Wake Forest history. Far from an erasure, this work seeks to offer a more expansive and inclusive narrative about Wake Forest history. Therefore, the following principles will guide and inform proposals for naming aspects of the university. None of these principles is mutually exclusive from another, as we expect university officials to hold all intention one with another. First, we are committed to academic freedom. No naming or renaming process should inhibit teaching, learning, and research, or preclude academic inquiry for any member of the university community. Next, we are committed to diversity and inclusivity. Names are important symbols that narrate and communicate the core values of the university to students, faculty, and the broader community. Naming or renaming must be an inclusive process that seeks to commemorate a diversity of notable personalities that reflect the core values of this university. Third, we are committed to historical investigation and analysis. Any consideration of naming or renaming must follow a thorough assessment and analysis of individual actions, intellectual contributions, and ethical debates germane to the appropriate historical context. Naming or renaming does not reflect the university's attempt to revise history, but rather it signifies an intent to honor the core and enduring values of the university. We are also committed to remembering. The university must help the broader community distinguish between honoring and remembering. In cases where historical discovery reveals that honoring someone with a name on a building, monument, street, or endowed position is inconsistent with the university's professed values, the community needs to remember aspects of this past, particularly those now considered morally repugnant. And finally, we are committed to transparency and tradition. Naming and renaming are part of a living tradition of Wake Forest University. In demonstrating a commitment to pro humanitate, our community stands in judgment over the past, just as future communities will one day look back on this moment with the eyes of differently informed judgment, and one hopes more humanness, which is a core commitment of pro humanitate. Such transparency and tradition has two components. For one, openness and intellectual honesty, insofar as there is a commitment to sharing publicly the rationale for naming or renaming. And second, Officials confer current and previous generations the same level of consideration and respect that they would hope to one day receive. As you engage in conversation with your fellow Wake Foresters, I ask you to consider these same guiding principles that the Advisory Committee has incorporated into this work. So thank you again for giving your time and your thoughtful conversation to our efforts. I look forward to hearing from you soon.